Hi there. Let's take a look at creating the basic parts of a learning plan within the WIDS system. You can see on the screen I've already logged into WIDS, and at the home screen I'm looking at all of the classes that I'm assigned to. I'm going to pick just one of my classes so that we can walk through the steps together. You should click on your class name to advance to your course's information. At the top in kind of that orange-brown bar, click on My Learning Plans. Let that advance. You may have no information here, and that's okay. We're going to build one from scratch. So kind of on the right-hand side, click the Edit command. That'll give you the opportunity to then click Add. If you don't see the Add button, back up and make sure that the Edit command already advanced. You may have to wait for it. Sometimes it takes a while. So I'm going to click Add to add a brand new learning plan to my system. You can give it whatever title you like. Remember, we're doing this for practice, so I'm going to call mine Penny's LP, and then I'll click Save. Also a friendly reminder that no one else can see your work, so you can feel free to play around and explore and try new things. Okay, so I'm going to now scroll down to see my new learning plan is sitting there. This is all under the list. The list heading means these are all of it's the entire list of learning plans that or whoever has created for this class. All right, the next tab that we're going to click in the blue section is Management. So I'm going to click from Select a Learning Plan and choose the one I just created. We're not going to add any information here. You could just look to see the kinds of things that are stored in the system under Management. Go ahead and click on Information. Here you do need to add a couple of things. So first of all, you have to pick one of the competencies from your course to align with this particular learning plan. So I'm going to choose my course's first competency and then click Save. Sometimes people will ask, can they do more than one competency? And I recommend that you don't. Keep it simple so that it can be clear. The information can all be clear. It's just easier for you, and in the end, it's actually better for the students because they don't know as much as you do. And so when they're looking at information for the first time, it is just better to go with one competency at the start. Okay, so I've selected my competency there. If I scroll down, the next area that I see is the overview or purpose. So one of the great things about learning plans is that we can share them with other instructors as well, or all of this information is stored for us. So sometimes if I don't teach a course for a semester or a year, I got to become familiar again with what was my intent, what's my context here. So the overview or purpose is where you can give yourself or another instructor all of that information. So I am going to pop in my overview information there about the context of this particular learning plan. Then I'm going to scroll back up and advance to the Learning Activities section. Now remember, before you get to this point in the system, you want to have reviewed all of the information in this unit already. So you want to already be comfortable with what are the learning activities that your students are going to do to help them prepare for the assessment. So typical things are like read the chapter, perhaps watch a YouTube video, do some research online, maybe share with their classmates, all these kinds of learning activities that they do to build up speed before they actually get assessed on their mastery of the competency. So I'm going to add a few learning activities that I've already identified for this particular competency. And any teaching notes that I need to remind myself of can go in there. I'll click Save. And then keep piling up those learning activities. Again, go back if you need to and remind yourself of the different requirements for your learning activities. For example, you want to have more than one learning activity so students have a selection for what suits their learning habits best. So you want to have a variety of activities. You want to have activities that are instructor-led and some activities that are student-led, right? All that's back in the unit that you're already familiar with. All right, so once you have all of those done, then you're ready for your assessment activities, right? And your assessment activities are those things by which the student will be graded. Okay, so I'm going to click Add, and I'm going to just add one here. You may have just one assessment activity. It depends on the part of your course that you're identifying. So I'm just going to add one. I'll expect that you continue to explore the different options here, tweak it, modify it, polish it up, get it ready to go, add all the information that you need, then click Save. And our final section up at the top then are any learning materials. So this is where you would add your learning materials, whatever it is that the students need for this part of your course. The book, access to a laptop, maybe they need lab materials, anything like that. Pile all those materials up here so that they're clearly identified. And again, one way to think about building your learning plan is that if you were to step away from this course and not teach it for a whole year, could you come back and know everything that you need to know just by looking at this learning plan? When you have the entire thing built, then you can go ahead and click Save and Close. Now, one last note for us, when your learning plan is done, at the left, click Quick Prints, Learning Plan. Select the one that you've just built, so I'm going to scroll down and click on mine and click Refresh Report. Then from here, this is where I need you to export your learning plan out of WIDS, preferably to a Word document, and upload it to our Blackboard site. If you have any questions at any time, feel free to email me.